The 1.6 update for Stardew Valley is finally on console. We have been waiting for this update for almost 8 months. I could have damn near had a baby in that time. I am being a little dramatic though, because I have actually played the 1.6 update when it came out on my PC, so I'm not going to be starting a new Meadowlands farm here today, but what I am going to be doing is essentially speed running the 1.6 update on my existing Year 6 Perfection farm on my Switch. This farm is my pride and joy, and I love to scroll through all my tabs and see that they're 100% perfectly completed. But since the 1.6 update adds so much new content, all of these filled out pages will have blank spots for all of the new items, and I can't have that. So the objective here today is just to get through all of the new 1.6 content as quickly as I can and get my tabs completely filled out again. This means obtaining mastery in each of the 5 skills, getting and crafting all of the new recipes, of which there are 21, shipping the 10 new items, catching the 4 new fish, finding the new secret notes, and completing all of the 9 new achievements, 2 of which being to collect and read all of the 19 new books, and to be a good neighbor by fulfilling a series of 8 fetch quests for a raccoon and its family. And then just for funsies, I also just want to try to see and participate in as much new content as possible, even if it's not needed for perfection. This means attending new festivals, collecting all the new trinkets, utilizing new items, etc, etc. As you can tell, this is no small task, so we're just going to get right into it. Okay, so right off the bat, one of the things I'm most excited for with the update is winter grass. Previously, grass used to die out at the beginning of winter each year, and if you want more grass come the spring, you need to replant it all with grass starter like I'm doing here. But now, grass doesn't die in the winter, so I never have to do this again. Because I had to replant all the grass, it took me 3 full days for my farm to be presentable enough for a tour. But without further ado, here is my little tour of my Year 6 Perfection farm. Starting out, we have my standard upgraded farmhouse with my horsey off to the right side, and off to the left side, we have my storage shed that is just full of loosely organized chests, lots of crystallariums, and all of my furnaces. Next, we have my crop fields that are maintained by 2 Junimo huts, and next to Grandpa's shrine, I have all of my obelisks. In my cave, I have my mushrooms as well as a few cute plants. Just south of my house, I have my money-making sheds, aka my 2 keg sheds and my 2 preserves jar sheds. At the very bottom of my farm, I have some filler decorations as well as animals. Inside my barn, I have at least one of every type of barn animal, including an ostrich. And in my coop, I also have one of every animal minus the blue chickens. I do have golden chickens though. To the left, I have my golden clock with some extra crop fields that I usually plant pretty flowers in. And then I have this monstrosity, the slime hutch. I like to say that I have one of these because this was my very first farm and I wanted to experience everything the game had to offer, but the sad truth is I fell for some lies I heard on the internet.
Slime hutches are great.
In the center here, I have 5 fish ponds, 1 for each color that is available, along with some beehives on either side of my greenhouse. In my greenhouse, I have it full to the brim with ancient fruit and all of my fruit trees. And speaking of ancient fruit, my Ginger Island farm has even more. It's not very pretty, but it was helpful in reaching perfection. My island farmhouse is nothing special. It's pretty much exactly the same as when you first unlock it, except for this fish tank I threw in the corner. But my normal farmhouse, on the other hand, is a beaut. When you walk in, you have the kitchen to the left and a super cozy living room to the right. I am married to Penny in this save, so I built her an entire classroom and made her office a bit cozier with rugs and plants. In the basement, I have this little pond with all of my legendary fish, and upstairs I have a mostly undecorated kids room, an indoor greenhouse garden, and my bedroom. Off of my kitchen, I also just have a cask empire. But during the 3 days I was working on preparing my farm for the tour, a few notable things happened. Night 1, mystery boxes were released into the valley. Day 2, I woke up to a message alluding to the new mastery room, as well as received a letter from Marnie regarding pet adoptions. Day 3, I got the A Distant Shore achievement for visiting my Ginger Island farm. And then on day 4, I finally got things rolling. I decided to head down to Cindersap Forest to check out the new mastery room and peep all the new mastery perks. I'm so excited for the iridium scythe that comes with farming mastery. While I was down here, I figured it would be a good time to catch the goby, which is the only new actual fish in the fishing tab. That got me in a fishing mood, so I bought the fish smoker recipe from Willy, changed my bobber to random, and spent the rest of the day just trying to fish up one of the 3 new jellies. I was unsuccessful, but I did manage to get my first mystery boxes from a fishing chest. The next day, I went to go grab my first power book, the Alleyway Buffet, which makes it more likely to find items in the trash. And while looking for carrot seeds in dig spots around the valley, I found my first new secret note from my grandpa letting me know about a secret compendium he had hidden in the valley. When I couldn't find any seeds in the dig spots, I decided to try my luck of finding some by breaking barrels in the mines, and I managed to find my second book by killing this bug, and now monsters have a chance to drop double loot. But unfortunately, I was not having any luck finding barrels, to the point I was convinced that my game was bugged. So I rage quit my way back to my farm and noticed that all of my ancient fruit was ready to harvest. So I got to work harvesting all of the ancient fruit by hand, and while doing so, I reached mastery level 1 and claimed combat mastery so I could start finding trinkets. On spring 6, I bought a couple of pet bulls at Robin's and then adopted 2 void kittens from Marnie, which I named Junimo and Starfy after my own 2 void kittens in real life. On days 7 and 8, I managed to fish up all 3 of the new jellies, cave jelly, river jelly, and sea jelly, completing the fishing tab. I spent a couple of days doing some chores around the farm, and when I went to sleep on spring 10, there was a windstorm during the night. The next morning, I checked out the damage and used 100 pieces of hardwood to turn the tree stump into a tiny stump house. And I even finally managed to find carrot seeds in a mine barrel. On day 12, the bookseller was in town, so I bought out all of his books and became instantly all-knowing and all-powerful, and my special items and powers section is starting to look a lot less sparse. But it wasn't good enough, so I spent some time going around the valley and grabbing even more books before checking up on the stump house to see that this little raccoon guy moved in. I gathered up the items he asked for and was rewarded with 25 carrot seeds, which I promptly planted. And that night, as I was harvesting more ancient fruit, I reached mastery level 2, so before I continued, I claimed farming mastery and was able to use my iridium scythe to finish harvesting the rest of it. Oh yeah, baby! Look at the ease and speed of which I am harvesting this fruit. Good things just kept on coming, because the next day, I won the egg hunt, and just 2 days later, we got to attend our very first new 1.6 festival, the Desert Festival. I participated in all of the new events and minigames before making my way down into the Skull Cavern, but I didn't make it very far because I forgot to bring bombs, staircases, and food, which ultimately killed me. The next day, I came back with all of my mining equipment fully prepared to get as many calico eggs as I could. I even managed to find the second and final new secret note, as well as 2 trinkets, the fairy box, and basilisk paw. I made it to floor 64 with an egg rating of 26 by the end of the night, which Gil seemed impressed by, so he gave me 200 calico eggs and his very own hat. The next day, I got to floor 73 with an egg rating of 23, and he acted like he had forgotten that I got a higher, even more impressive egg rating the day prior. But he gave me 100 more calico eggs, and I ended off the festival with 701 eggs in total. And since it was the final day of the festival, I cashed out my eggs for some mystery boxes and a few copies of Woodcutters Weekly for some XP. At some point during the festival, I had reached mastery level 3, so the next day I grabbed foraging mastery, crafted some mystic tree seeds, and got those planted right outside of my farmhouse. Then, fueled by my desire to find more trinkets, I spent more time in the mines and managed to get the golden spur and a brown frog egg on the same floor. I equipped my brown frog and headed to the Skull Caverns on day 20, only to unequip him pretty quickly because he was pissing me off. He's so cute, but he keeps eating all the monsters that I'm trying to kill. I drank some monster musk and really went to town killing monsters to farm for more trinkets, and I found the magic quiver. And after all of my time in the mines, as well as doing various chores around my farm, I reached mastery level 4. On the way to claim my new mastery perks, I stopped by our raccoon friend and his new wife to drop off some dried coconuts and cactus fruit jelly they requested. And in return, they gave me this raccoon journal. I ended up grabbing mining mastery, leaving fishing for last. I crafted one of the new recipes and got it set up right outside my house for easy access. And then I went and picked up a key quest at Ginger Island so that I would have enough gems to buy the new blue grass recipe. I even checked the perfection tracker to see if it had changed at all after the update, and well, it did. But bright and early the next morning, I set out to the Skull Cavern to work on the key quest. I had enough ladders to just cheese my way to level 100, but I wanted to kill some monsters on my way down to farm XP and trinkets. And in the end, I made it to floor 100 at 1 AM, completing the quest and earning enough gems to purchase the bluegrass starter recipe the following day. My parrot and I danced with my wife at the flower dance to conclude day 24. The next day, the bookseller was in town again, but he wasn't selling any new power books, so I just bought the XP books he had and decided that since I was already in this part of town and it's a rainy day, I might as well treat my wife to a movie date, completing the 2 thumbs up achievement. But even after spending the afternoon having a relaxing movie date, I couldn't get over the disappointment of not buying a new book, so I made my way to the volcano on Ginger Island and traded 10 diamonds for this Diamond Hunter book from the dwarf. I really wanted to unlock Mastery level 5 before the end of spring, so I spent the last few days of the season working around my farm, chopping trees, and mining in order to gain enough XP to claim Fishing Mastery, which, not to brag, but I did on the very last day of spring. But with the season coming to a close, I thought that we could go over everything we accomplished in the first season alone. We crafted 7 of the 21 new recipes, shipped 5 of the 10 new items, caught all 4 new fish, read 13 of the 19 power books, found both new secret notes, collected every single trinket, and completed 2 of the 9 achievements. I'd say we're off to a really good start. I started off my summer the way you begin every new season in Stardew Valley, spending an ungodly amount of time planting all of your seeds. But once that was finished, I went to check on my raccoon friends and they had a kid. I guess that fruit I gave them really gave them the energy to get it on. This time, they were requesting some dried purple mushrooms and 5 white algae. So I got the purple mushrooms going in the dehydrator and went foraging for grapes to be able to make raisins eventually. The next morning, the dried mushrooms were done and I dropped those off along with the algae for my raccoon friends, and I got a raccoon hat. While chopping trees around the valley, I uncovered this secret present behind where the bookseller balloon is, and inside was this prize ticket, reminding me that I need to be collecting prize tickets in order to get the Friendship 101 book. But when I realized I was in Mayor Lewis's house and I had staircases on my person, I decided to take a little side quest that I've never done before. I saw this Easter egg where if you place a staircase on the floor in Lewis's bedroom, you go to his basement where you find his creepy maze that leads you to his underwear next to a sus computer. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse, a pair of ghost underwear chases you out. Anyway, I read somewhere that you can now put your legendary fish inside the fish ponds. So I emptied all of my fish and plopped the legendaries in there. The new colors are so cool. I spent a couple of days focusing on crafting recipes and knocked out the big chest, bluegrass, anvil, heavy furnace, deluxe worm bin, challenge bait, deluxe bait, sonar bobber, and the tent kit. This left only a few recipes left for me to craft, one of them being the Statue of Blessings, but unfortunately I didn't have an absurd amount of moss. But luckily for me, the next morning when I woke up, the green rain was here, so I spent the day collecting as much moss as I could until I passed out, and I still didn't have enough. So I spent half of the next day collecting moss off of trees until I finally had enough to craft the Statue of Blessings, and I placed it in front of my house across from my Dwarf King statue. And with the leftover moss, I was also able to cook the moss soup recipe. I sold some mystic syrup and raisins in the shipping bin, leaving only the 3 new crops for summer, fall, and winter. And I already have my summer squash planted. Meanwhile, in the background, I've been working on various things like upgrading my pan to iridium quality, which is a new feature in 1.6, opening mystery boxes to try and get the Book of Mystery, checking the traveling cart for the new furniture catalogs, chopping down every single tree in the entire valley just trying to get the stupid Woody secret book to drop, and doing a lot of fishing for the Jewels of the Sea book. On summer 9, I cracked open the treasure appraisal guide from an artifact trove, and that made me feel a little less hopeless after failing to find any of the other books I need. The raccoon requested some cave carrot juice and pickled corn, so I got those going, and then I spent a couple of days farming dragon teeth in the volcano for one of the final crafting recipes I need, the mini forge. And when I was putting my dragon's teeth in storage, I noticed I only have 1 galaxy soul, but I need 3 in order to get the infinite power achievement. So I picked up Key's Hungry Challenge so that I can work towards affording 2 more galaxy souls. Summer 11 was of course the luau, so I dropped a gold quality starfruit into the soup, which delighted the governor and earned me the unforgettable soup achievement. The next day, I just laddered my whole way down to floor 100 of the Skull Caverns, completing the key quest and getting enough gems to buy another galaxy soul. And the day after, my summer squash were ready, so I sold those and delivered the juice I made to the raccoon family. I finally got enough dragon's teeth to craft the mini forge, and I wasted no time. I got that mini forge crafted and gave it a home right in the center of my shed. After chopping down probably 300 trees in this playthrough, I finally managed to get my hands on Woody's secret. I was really eager to try out my mini forge, so I picked up another key quest, immediately completed it by using ladders again, bought my galaxy souls, and forged my infinity gavel, getting the infinite power achievement. But while I was checking my perfection tracker, I noticed that I hadn't actually crafted every recipe, so I double checked what I was missing and found that I had not crafted a treasure totem yet. So I made that really quick and went back to check and wait, what? After scouring my entire crafting menu for the 100th time, I realized I never actually bought the big stone chest recipe. So I bought that, crafted it, and I have now officially crafted every single one of the new recipes. Side note, these treasure totems are pretty cool. After spending a majority of the following day fishing, I got lucky and fished up Jewels of the Sea. We are getting so close. Before going to sleep, I turned on the dangerous mines, and the next morning I bravely took the elevator all the way down to the bottom of the mines like the little cheater that I am. But this cheater got the Danger in the Deep achievement, so cry about it. Though I did actually go back up and spend a couple of days in the mines farming for mystery boxes, as well as completed the special orders board quest to get another prize ticket because I still need the Book of Mysteries and Friendship 101. Summer 20 was the first day of the trout derby, so I grabbed some supplies, stopped by the raccoons on my way down. They gave me this fish tank, which felt appropriate for the occasion, and set up shop by the river to begin fishing my little heart away. By the end of the night, I had 16 golden tags, which I redeemed for various prizes like this sick bucket hat and some mystery boxes. And then I did the whole thing over again the next day, trying to get as many mystery boxes as possible to bring to Clint to give myself the best possible chance of getting the Book of Mysteries. And after just 2 cracks? No way.
You got what you needed?
Yes.
Let's go!
I got the final random chance book, leaving just Friendship 101, which I can get from redeeming prize tickets, and the Art O'Crabbing, which is a reward from the Squidfest event in winter. So speaking of prize tickets, I picked up the special orders board quest to slay 50 grubs in the mines. So I spent some of the next few days in summer working on that and got 1 week closer to redeeming Friendship 101. And then on summer 28, I dilly-dallied around my farm, fulfilled half of the raccoon request, and just tried to waste time until 10 p.m. so that I could attend the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. This season, we accomplished so much. All of the categories are almost finished, and the only things we have left to do are ship 2 items and get 4 more achievements. Fall is going to be a breeze. Since there's not much left to do, one of the few joys I have left is getting a new special orders board quest every Monday. I picked up the Biome Balance quest before going back to my farm to plant my cranberries to give my Junimo something to do. The next day was my wife's birthday, so I gave her an emerald. Then I brought the second half of the items I needed to complete the raccoon quest from last week, pickled broccoli, before fishing up 20 riverfish and redeeming my prize ticket. For most of the season, I spend a lot of time completing chores around my farm before going to sleep ridiculously early, just waiting for something interesting to happen. For instance, on the 6th of fall, I was able to ship some broccoli. On fall 8th, I completed another special orders board quest. Hello there! And the next day, I fulfilled another raccoon order before sleeping until the following Monday. I didn't know it then, but this was going to be the second to last special orders board quest I needed to complete because the next day was the Stardew Valley Fair. And after getting first place in the Grange display and winning 1,000 star tokens, I was able to redeem them for a prize ticket at the booth, meaning I only needed 1 more before I could get my hands on Friendship 101. Before going to sleep, I got the now huge raccoon family what they were asking for, and when I woke up the next morning, I realized I had never even checked the raccoon shop out. Turns out they sell all of the new seasonal seeds for trades, so I picked up a powder melon seed and got that planted. After a few more monotonous days, I was able to complete the final special orders board quest and redeem my ticket for Friendship 101. On fall 23rd, I completed the 8th and final raccoon quest, but I didn't get the achievement. I guess I just have to wait a week? The next day, I sold that powder melon I planted, completing the shipping tab. And aside from getting the retro catalog from the traveling cart, nothing else happened. Everything is done, so the only thing holding us back is the final book, the Art O'Crabbing. Meaning that just so long as I'm able to catch enough squid at Squidfest, we're on track to finish the challenge on Winter 12. I'm going to go right ahead and say that for 11 days in a row this winter, I pretty much went to sleep at 7 a.m. after doing the bare minimum on my farm. 2 notable things happened during these days though. On Winter 2nd, I checked up on the raccoons and I did indeed get the Good Neighbors achievement. I guess you do just have to wait a week. And on Winter 10th, after petting my cats every single day since I adopted them, they were both at 5 hearts. I'm glad they love me as much as I love them. And then I woke up on winter 12th, fully prepared to finish this thing. In order to win the book, I need to catch 8 squid to have an iridium tier score. So I brought my bait maker to help this process along, and by 11:10 a.m. I had caught the 8 squid needed to win the final book I needed to achieve perfection. The art o' crabbing. A train passed by to throw some celebratory stone at me, and I made my way to the summit to get the final achievement, perfection. Since I've had the summit unlocked this entire time, I could have gotten this achievement from day 1, but I thought that it would be more fun if it was the very last thing I did so that it actually felt like I was reaching perfection for the first time all over again. But that's it, guys, we did it. We speedran all of the new 1.6 content in the minimum amount of time possible, if you ignore the part where I'm in year 6. All of my tabs are beautifully full again and my heart is happy, but you guys could make my heart even happier by liking, commenting, and subscribing if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!